Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia de Oliveira, and I am starting a new segment called Winning Mentality Spotlight. And my goal with this segment is to just highlight and shout out some athletes who have been really killing it in their athletic careers in their respective fields, and hopefully just share some insight and some motivation with you all so that you can walk away from these meetings maybe feeling a little bit more motivated or empowered than you did when you started watching. And my first ever guest is a really dear friend of mine. His name is Bryson Broadway. He is currently playing Division I college football at Georgia Southern. So I'm really excited for you to get to know him and hear a little bit about his journey and his accomplishments, and hopefully just feel a little bit more inspired. This is my great friend, Bryson Broadway. Bryson, tell me a little bit about your journey with football and your experiences, and really when you came to fall in love with your sport.
First off, thank you for allowing me to be on this. This is awesome, and glad you did this. Um, I think that I came to fall in love with football at a young age. I mean, I always loved it. Didn't really play it much when growing up until I got about sixth grade. My mom was, she wanted to protect me and make sure I didn't get hurt or any bumps and bruises. Just how all moms are; they want to protect their children. But I played in sixth grade. Loved it then. Was the biggest kid on the team, so it was fun. It was enjoyable. I was just tackling. I was playing defense. So I was getting to tackle everybody. It was fun. Played all the way through middle school. Um, Freshman year I didn't play, but I fell in love with it again. My sophomore year of high school started. Didn't really have much time in varsity. Just kind of kept working. Put my head down. Was very persistent with it. Um, got to junior and senior year, and my senior year I started every game, started playing a lot, and I just loved it. I enjoyed it, and I just wanted to, you know, play college sports, and being at this level has just been a very surreal moment. So yeah,
And you play where now?
I played at Georgia Southern. I've played at three different universities. I played at East Illinois. Came out of high school, played there for a year and a half. Right after COVID had hit, went to Georgia State for a season, and then I came to Georgia Southern, and I've loved every bit of it. And going on my last year of eligibility, so
All of which are really impressive Division I schools as well. So that is a great accomplishment.
thank you.
Tell me a little bit about how you felt when you received your first college offer.
I had a couple referred walk-ons, had some D2s, but when I really got that first Division I offer, it was just like, wow, I've done it, I've made it. Like I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna do it. So it was very surreal.
I feel like it's very validating at any level when a coach or a school comes in and they see your talent, especially since you really started to get really serious about it later on in your high school career. But just that validation, knowing that someone else sees your hard work and they're just, proud of you and want you to be a part of their team. That's pretty awesome.
I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky, and just to get to work with all these amazing people, and my players are some of my best friends, and it's
Yeah.
just really been awesome just to know that I've gotten that foot in the door, and I've closed that door. I'm there. I've arrived, and it's just very amazing. So
You absolutely have, and it's very well deserved, and I'm very proud of you.
thank you, ma'am. Appreciate
My
that.
goal with winning mentality is really to help young athletes develop positive and healthy strategies that help keep and maintain the joy in their sport. So, do you personally have a strategy that you've adopted to help you keep a joyful spirit, maybe in some difficult seasons of your life?
I would say go back to high school because like you always everybody I've want to play. I cannot sit and watch. I love to be on the field and playing between the lines and being a part of every snap of my brothers and just playing in front of all these fans. Starting in high school, you just look up and you see the student section and like, I gosh, I go to school with these people. Like just not really necessarily strategies, but more so moments. Like before the game, like going to pray, going to talk to God, getting that confidence, building it up. After that, running through a banner, running through a tunnel, just stuff like that. It's just surreal. But like for me, it's starting in high school. Like, man, like every single day. I mean, I was getting in trouble in class for being on my phone too much, texting coaches. Like, I just had to getting, whether it was a junior day invite, a camp invite, just to come on a visit, a game day, anything like that was just like, wow, like this has given me a motivation and a drive to want to keep going and do this. So it's like never stopped. And then when I got to college, it was like, wow, I started as a freshman. That's enough motivation just to sit there and work because no matter where you go, I mean, you look at, people, you go to University of Georgia, you go to Georgia Southern, for instance, you go Kennesaw State or Barry, there's freshmen that start all over the country.
Right.
And just being able to do that is just awesome. Like, and it should just be enough because no job is solidified. So you should come in and I'm like, oh, I'm on a red shirt. No, go in and work for it. Go in and grab it and take what's yours. Enjoy those moments. Some of the best times I've ever had has been at practice, been
Right.
at meetings, been at lift, been at team runs. Even though you think you can't do it, but you look at the next person next to you and like, gosh, he just picked me up to go to the next run the next 110 or whatever it is or the stadium. Just enjoy that because like you're gonna look back and talk about that stuff. Yes, you might talk about, oh my gosh, we had the game winning drive against so and so in the conference championship or this game to beat our rival. But I mean, I'll never like. There's some of the funniest moments. Like one day we got an ice bucket and poured it on our coach when it was snowing. Like that's stuff that I'm gonna remember and think about before I think about the game and what we did. Like, or gosh, man, so and so was late this one day at practice. We had to run like crazy. Like it's just a like it's awful. Like that stuff's awful. But when you look back, like those are some of the most amazing moments that I've ever had. And
Absolutely.
then when it all pays off and you're out there on a Saturday and like for Paulson Stadium, we're playing in front of 26,000 people every Saturday. That's surreal. I get to run out there and I see 26,000 people and maybe 10 of them are my family, but heck, I don't care. They all blend in and I'm having a great time. As long as we win, that's when I'm happy. So, but
Absolutely.
I would just say just buying into everything and not just looking forward to the games.
I totally agree. I think, being an athlete is such a privilege and it's just such an honor. And just to be able to go out there and do what you love and put your heart on the line because it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're not going to be an athlete forever. Like, despite if you play in college or your career ends, professionally or even in high school or middle school, like, I think just valuing those moments and those great times doing something you love is really important.
Just like you said, I mean, you could have said better. It's not guaranteed. It wasn't. I mean, you've played Division I basketball. There's 2% of us out of all high school athletes that play Division I sports.
Right.
That's very rare. That's something to be proud of. That's something to work for every single day. So like, it could end. I mean, you could be taken out because for injury or anything like that. The Lord's blessed me with the ability that I've been able to play for 5 years, going on my last year, my fifth year. And I'm just so thankful for everything that I've been given. And, didn't take it for granted, but it flew by. And now I'm sitting here
Absolutely.
like, gosh, I mean, this is it. Like,
And
what
we're
am I
old.
yeah, what am I gonna do when I don't have to wake up at like tomorrow I gotta wake up at 5 o'clock and go to workouts? Like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do when I have to wake up at 7 or 6 and like I'm gonna drive to work? I mean, I'm not gonna go to a workout, I'm gonna go answer phone calls all day. Like,
Right.
it's just the stuff like that is just you don't ever want to wish it away. You want to live in the moment. Be where your feet are. Don't wish it away because I promise you it goes by so
I
fast.
totally believe that, and I'm just so proud of you and your outlook on everything. God has definitely blessed you and will continue to bless you, and I'm just so proud to know you, and I know that you're going to be an inspiration to all of those that surround you and look up to you.
The good Lord definitely blessed me. He looked out for me. I stayed persistent. I was texting coaches like it didn't matter. I was like, I went through. I would look up the school's team on Twitter. I would find all the coaches on that team. The offensive, defensive, special teams did not matter. It didn't matter if it was a strength coach or the recruiting lady that had nothing to do with me because she can't give me an offer. I'm texting her. I'm letting them all know that hey, I am here. Like this is me. Like so, I would probably text all 20 on the staff, and I would do that with at least 20 different schools a day. Like it was just, and it finally paid off, and I'm very thankful.
I loved how you were talking about when you were going through your own recruiting process, reaching out to coaches. Like, there is no shame in that game. I remember I was doing the same thing. So, if you are an aspiring college athlete, don't be afraid to reach out to other like coaches, anybody, like Bryson said, like anyone you can get in contact with because you never know like how those connections will play out in your careers. So
Oh,
that's great.
exactly.
That's a great
Like, I mean, if a coach walked into the facility, there wasn't a time that I wasn't gonna whether it was Alabama and I know I was never gonna play there, or it was some school that nobody's ever heard of in California. Like, it didn't matter. I was shaking their hand, and I was gonna get to know them, and, the biggest thing that you can do, I mean, and you learn this in every aspect of life, is sell yourself. You're your own advocate. You sell yourself. I mean, you are your biggest billboard, and
Totally.
without yourself, you're nothing. And I had to learn that because it just took me doing all that stuff for a college coach to recognize me. And I was undersized. I was 235 pounds as an offensive tackle. That's not big. That if you look up an offensive tackle where I'm at the Division I level, they're at least 6'6" and 310 pounds. I am now 6'5", 295. So I'm still under the radar. I'm still small. I got thrown under the bus a little bit, but I mean, just like don't ever get down. Like there were so many coaches that like I mean, I played like I said, I played Division I. There was D2, D3 schools that did not want me, told me I wasn't good enough. That didn't stop me. Just because somebody didn't respond or didn't acknowledge me didn't mean that I wasn't good enough. It didn't mean that I
Absolutely.
should hang it up. I kept going. You got to have that drive. You got to want it. Like, and I will tell you this, and maybe I'm sure you'll agree with me. It's not always the coolest thing because people are like, "Oh, it's just a dream. It's just a dream." No, that is a reality that
Right.
you can do. No matter how hard you work, you can definitely achieve that goal.
I
Like,
love that. Yes.
there's nothing that, like, I mean, there's times where people didn't know me that they were saying stuff to me, or I was never going to play, or I wasn't good enough, and half those kids, they never played. No, nothing to do respect to them, but they never played college football. Now, I've done that. I've lived that dream. I've been a 4-year starter. I have 2,000 snaps and 30 plus starts in 4 years. That's pretty unheard of at a lot of places.
Amazing.
And going on my fifth year and hoping to reach 2,800 snaps. Like, there's just a lot that is there. And to say that I've done it all and I'm just, obviously there's one last step. I got to hopefully go to the NFL or some kind of league that may, fulfill my lifelong dream. But if it doesn't come, I'm at peace with it. But just I never stopped. I gave it all I got.
You always have to be your own biggest cheerleader because people are going to say whatever they want to say to you. But at the end of the day, you have to know your truth and know who God called you to be and what God says about you. And so
Amen.
you have to sell yourself in that way too, because not everybody's going to be Team Bryson or Team Sophia, but you have to know who you are and what you bring to the table. So
Agree,
I
because at the end of the day, it's you and you. When you look in the mirror, nobody else is looking back beside you. And when you close your eyes at night, you have to be okay with yourself when you go to pray to God or right before you go to sleep, and just be okay with who you are. And that's the biggest thing. You're not just when you go through this journey of all this kind of stuff, you can't just like think I'm just an athlete. You got to think that I'm still me. I'm still chasing every dream that I've ever had. I'm still doing all these things and achieving all these great things. Like, there's got to be a good balance of like, gosh, I can do all this stuff with it being an athlete, but I need to be, I need to show, because if you don't put hand in hand about how you treat yourself and how you treat yourself as an athlete, you're I promise you it's going to be like this. You're going to be off balance. But when you find that happy median of things, gosh, it will just change your life. If you wake up every day wanting to do it and be willing to work, there's nothing you can't do. You can conquer the world. Like, I promise you, the world's at your fingertips and you can do it.
I totally agree. You have given so much like amazing insight. I am so excited for other young athletes just to hear your wisdom and your experience. And I hope that they kind of take some of your feedback and run with it because you have been dropping some dimes, like some really great tips. So I'm so honored that you took the time to just chat with
I
me.
promise you, I'm more honored to be on here. I didn't Definitely not deserving of this or worthy of this, but I
Oh
really
my
appreciate
gosh, you
it.
absolutely are.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm proud of you for everything you're doing. So don't
Thank
stop. Keep going. You're welcome.
Well, it was great to talk to you, and I'm cheering for you and praying for you, and I just know that God's got his hand on the rest of your journey. So,
Amen. Amen to that. Likewise with you. I'm proud of you.
thank you.
You're
All
welcome. All
right.
right, Sophia. I'll see you later.
Bye.